for this year for you guys. It's a big year. You're going to be releasing some recordings. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, our plan is to record in Grove City at Sonic Lounge.
Where is Sonic Lounge? Because I feel like I should know it.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like tucked behind some stuff.
That's what everybody says, and I don't know where that is though.
You gotta Google it or something.
Yeah.
Everybody's always like, it's in a neighborhood. It's tucked behind. Is it by Is it by the brewery?
I don't know if it's by the brewery, but it's
Okay.
like down in the alley. It's down like a one-way alley.
Sonic Lounge. Apparently, they're a big deal.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
they're like legit. A lot of people. I was talking to who was it? Oh, a couple of the people, and you guys know the Angry Cougars,
Oh.
like a local punk band. They're awesome. They recorded there,
Okay.
and they were the first people that I met that were telling me about it, and it pretty much said the same thing. Oh, it's like in a neighborhood down the alley. And like, I don't know where it is. Like I live in Grove City and I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, lots of tangents on this show. We're gonna go down side streets.
That's fine.
Yeah. So you're recording at Sonic Lounge.
Yeah.
With Joe Veers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe Veers.
Right. Right on. First time working together.
No, we've worked with Joe before.
Yeah.
We worked on the Mr. Anderson record with him.
Okay. Right on.
Yeah, and I worked on some stuff with him with some other people.
On one of your other projects.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's crazy. He just like knows what we want.
Yeah.
Before we even do
That's-
it. I'll like record a horn part and then I'm like, okay, and now I need you to like fly it over to this other part of the song. He's like, oh, you mean here? Yeah, I already put it there.
Yeah, that's how
I mean, that's the dream, right?
Yeah.
That's the kind of producer that you want with that sort of thing. So you already had like a relationship with him, and kind of led to this working together for some new music coming out. And so you're saying you're going to do a couple singles, kind of like the traditional path of like, here's a taste,
Exactly.
right? So the plan is to have it out when?
The plan hopefully is to have the first single out like at the beginning of summer, like hopefully June-ish.
Cool.
And then maybe like a single every month for a few months in a row, and then like in fall release the whole thing as an album.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are we going to do like physical release, digital?
I want to do CDs.
Yeah.
I don't think we have enough for vinyl, but at least not right now.
Vinyl's tough, right? Because it's just so cool.
Yeah.
Right? You were asking me if I play, and I was telling you about some of my shitty bands I was in back in the day. Like, I always wanted to have a vinyl release.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I wasn't good enough. And B, I was always too broke. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll sell 10 of these to my immediate family and like, the one person who comes to a show. But
exactly.
maybe you do like, consider like some 7 inches or something like that, as a teaser. But it's so pricey.
Yeah, because I want to do music videos as well, because I feel like they're going to get a lot more traction. People got something nice to look at too. So
it's hard. I remember we hit a point where with the technology that we have in social media, and that was this new exciting way for bands to promote themselves and their music, right? But now it's just, there's so much out there and it all gets kind of jumbled up.
mm-hmm.
How do you guys promote? How do you find some of the most successful ways for getting yourselves out there?
I mean, right now it's just doing gigs, I think. Eric's doing this new thing at every gig where he's like, all right, now everyone get your phone out and go on Instagram and type the_OG.
And everybody does it.
Everyone does it.
That's good.
Yeah.
So after the show, we're like...
And I say, press that little blue button that says follow.
Like, and I'm not going to keep playing until I see each and every one of you do it.
I was like, okay.
Well, look at the audience. They all got their...
Yeah, it works.
I was like, oh, okay.
It's like, dang, I should have been doing this shit a long time ago.
Okay, we had 2 gigs in January. And at the beginning of January, we had maybe 250 followers. Yesterday, which was the last day of January, we got to 400.
Yeah, I saw like you guys had like a goal that you set or whatever, and I'm like, that's pretty good growth, really. You know, and that's that, and it's real growth.
Right.
You know, not it's people that are engaged and are already there for your show.
Yeah.
That's smart. Yeah. Everybody watching this right now, tell them again where to find it.
It is
on Instagram.
You go to Instagram and then you go to @the_OG players.
Well, maybe we can get you a couple more. I don't know.
That way.
While you're at it, if you're not already following at Unauthorized with Jesse Hubbard on Instagram. So yeah, the OG players. I wanted to ask you guys about that. We're jumping around a little bit, but I got a lot of questions. I'm very curious about your band. I know what it stands for, but tell everybody listening like what OG players means.
It stands for Observation Generation.
Okay. So what does that mean to you guys? What do you want that to sort of mean to like your fan base and the people that come out to your shows?
Yeah, I mean, me and he came up with this in conversation one time when we were talking. And,
we actually were thinking about starting a podcast, and that's where the name Observation Generation came from.
Right.
Because we were like, oh, let's just make a podcast where we talk about different like hot topics in society right now, but like talk about it with the nuance that people don't usually bring to it.
Right.
We never did that, but
we never did do that.
Always save and hold on to a good name though.
Yeah,
right? Because you can always use it for something else.
Yeah, so I bought the domains and stuff.
So yeah, it ended up turning into that. And but I mean, basically, it means to observe. And I feel like especially I guess you could say our generation, but obviously generations in the past. But it's observation is very important for survival and for change and for so many different things for all living organisms.
Yeah. So
we just especially now. I mean, you see the world is just going to
we can talk about it. I mean, we can talk about how messed up the world is, man.
But so like I think especially for youth, I work with a lot of youth. I'm a teacher and I teach music and stuff. And
very cool.
One of the things I try to teach them is just be very observant about the things around you, your environment, and try to incorporate that in your music and try to give an authentic representation of your reality, like through the music, and that requires observation. So
that's definitely lacking in music today, where people just talk about stuff that's not true.
Well, they're observing I guess you could say like their imagination or whatever they're fed. You know what I mean, to a certain extent, but it's not. We all know it's it's not especially with you, it's not like an actual representation of our reality. A lot of them just make it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To fit whatever.
You can say shit too. If you
I can't. Okay.
Say it.
They just make up whatever shit. They just make up whatever shit.
Talk about drugs, and money,
and all different kinds of things. The stereotypical things and whatnot. So, I guess for me personally, in a way, I'm trying to inspire youth that I'm connected with and that I touch, like to be observant. And be that generation that observes.
That's what I was going to say. Like, are you saying that you think that this current generation is more prone to do that, or you want to see more out of that from the current generation, or the next generation?
Yeah. I mean, to a certain extent, I think they are observing, but it's not the surroundings around them. You know what I mean? They are observing things, but it's not. It's like it's this.
It's the pressure. Yeah. So you're talking about the different things that they talk about and like performing the music and whatnot. It's the pressure to kind of fit in and to go along with that. Like what you think. I mean, I know I was guilty of that when I was younger. And I acted and how I thought I should to fit in and be cool. And you follow that. It's almost like robotic motion of this is the path. Until you get confident enough. To kind of carve out your own niche, I think. Yeah.
I made a lot of decisions based off the music I listened to when I was a teenager.
Not exactly. No, but it's a great name. It's a great name for a podcast or band. Or it could be both, you know what I mean? There's always have that option. It might be, you know what I mean? I know a place where you can put together a really nice show. So no, I like that a lot. I think it's cool, and doing a little bit of research or whatever, and like it's just a cool name. And to me, what I like about it is like I thought, well, this is what I think it could mean. You know what I mean? But to hear, I was close. I was close, but like it's kind of open to interpretation as well. which I think is kind of neat, you know. And that's something that I find interesting with a lot of musicians, is that they like it to be the case where maybe they're singing from performing from a certain perspective, even maybe a personal place, but it's open for other people to take what they want from it. How do you guys feel about that? Do you like that with your music, people to be able to kind of grasp it in a way that's more personal to them, or do you want to be more direct with your lyrics and your music?
Well, I say lyric wise, I always try to think about the other perspectives of everyone and try to make it relatable. Even though it might mean something to me, it could mean something else to somebody else, just depending on how I said it or say it. So
I think
I always think about that, especially in this group. It's really fun to do it in this one.
Yeah. I mean, it's a rare gift to be able to do that. Now, I don't think, I mean, the great ones can do that. The great artists over the years can do that, but not everybody can. And sometimes things are so literal. It's, it's interesting. As I've gotten older, I gravitate, it's always been the music. The music's so important to me, but I've started gravitating more and more towards lyrics, and how I can apply it to things in my life. And if something's too literal to the point, okay, it's a cool story you're telling, but it's hard to get emotionally invested.
Yeah.
And if it's something where your story is personal to you, but maybe to me, I can apply it to the situation.
Right.
That's meaningful for the audience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And music's about feeling. If you can get people to feel when they listen to it, that's what you're shooting for. At least for us.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for.
So
make it a meditative experience.
I mean, what about you with the feeling and emotion that you try to relay through instrumentation? So you do trombone, and you play violin as well, right?
Yeah.
You do anything else? As if that's not enough?
I mean, I play some other instruments at home, not well enough to go out and perform them with other people.
Cool.
But I learned a little bit of piano and bass stuff at home.
But so how do you do that, I guess, musically speaking, with an instrument to try to grab that audience member or something, to connect with them? What's the mindset with that?
Well, it really started with, I was going out and practicing in parks with my loop station, and I would start trying to build songs by playing what the bass player would play, but with my trombone and an octave pedal, and then play what the keyboard player was playing, but with my trombone or with my violin, and then kind of stacking that and making a song out of that, and then adding some drums to it. And it just kind of naturally flowed into what the band is now, which is, that's exactly what it is. We start every show and I'm the only one on stage, slowly building the song, and it makes people observe what's going on. So they're what is this chick doing? Mm-hmm. She's just playing some random trombone, and then as each layer...
oh, she came out too soon. That's the rest of the
sound check right now. It's not official.
You're practicing? What's going on? And then the layers come on, build more and more, and then the drummer comes out, and then Eric comes out, and then the beat will kick in, and Eric will start putting his lyrics on. And it just happened naturally. We didn't really even think about what we were going to do and what we were going to try to do. Right. It just kind of happened naturally.
Yeah, it's very, very organic.
So how did you guys come together? Officially you're a trio, correct?
Yeah, or a quartet, because we just added a drummer recently.
Okay. So what's the story behind that? How did you guys come together to form this group? You played in other groups prior? How did you meet? Let's talk a little bit about that process.
We met, I don't know, 10 years ago. Maybe a little more than 10 years ago.
We met we did something at LSU or something, didn't we? Or how did we meet?
No, I think the first time I met you, I was dating someone in college who was a saxophone player, and he joined this band, Mr. Anderson, that Eric started. Yeah. And then
and Wes got recommended to us by Dan White.
Yeah.
Because Dan White wrote some horn parts on our first album.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we met Wes.
Yeah. And then Wes brought me, because I guess you guys were looking for another horn player.
Right.
And I went to whoever the old keyboard player's house I think it was
Brandon.
I was at his house.
Yeah,
That's when I met you.
Yeah.
But then I joined the band Mr. Anderson, and we're still doing stuff too. So we've been playing together for over 10 years.
So when did the OG Players take shape?
Last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little over a year ago. So like in 2021, like obviously when the pandemic hit, all my gigs got decimated. So I've been a full-time musician since, my last year of college. So all the gigs got canceled, like every single one. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were out of work.
Was on unemployment for a little bit, and then my lease ended at the end of February 2021. So I was like, let me go visit my grandma in Texas. I'll stay with her for a month. And then when I was in Texas, I was like trying to build some beats in Logic, make some stuff, talking to Eric, getting some new ideas for new creative things we could do.
Yeah.
And then when I came back, I was like, well, I still don't really have enough money to like get an apartment or for a down payment or anything. So I was just living out of my car. So I like built this whole bed system in my car and like built these covers for all the windows.
He is like the most resourceful person I know. If shit hit the fan, I'm coming to find it. I'm coming up, I'm like, yo, Ed, what we doing? Yeah, let's go. Like, I need you on the team. Like, for real. Like, she.
So this was
if
my
the grid went down.
Yeah, right.
Man,
my daily routine.
Good to know.
Somebody you want on your team.
That's good to know.
For real.
Okay, so my daily routine was this. I would wake up in my car. I would park at hotel parking lots, like at Easton, because like there's lights and no one's gonna like mess with you in a hotel parking lot. So I would wake up, go to the gym, shower, work out, get some food, and then go to the park and just play the whole day. Or if I had a gig, because it was summer by then, those few gigs that I had, I would play.
Yeah.
And that's when it started. I was like, Eric, you want to come to the park and practice with me?
That's like,
I'm going to be at the park all day. Come over.
Absolutely.
Maybe you throw out the tip bucket, right?
We
A little
kind of
bit.
kept it a little quiet because we didn't really have any like songs done, so we were just kind of practicing to ourselves.
Fair enough. I tell you what, that's a funny thing to hear you say, because like being from the East Coast and like being on the subways and everything in New York for all those years, a lot of people they don't stop them. they got no songs. They got no talent. They're still asking for money. So you guys were well within your rights to put out a little tip bucket, is all I'm saying. You've seen it, but it's real, right? Like they go around you be on the subway or whatever. Like you've seen it, right?
Yeah.
Like they're just coming around with the key. You're like, no, I didn't want to listen to that. I'm not giving you any money. That's terrible.
Oh my God, there's this violin player at the Kroger near me, and I like watch him. He's like playing violin, but what he's doing is not matching the sound. And I'm like, you just have a track coming out of your speaker, and you're acting like you're playing violin and getting all these tips from people outside of Kroger.
Like,
Yeah.
Now you're
What are
on
you
point
doing?
with it. Wow.
I know exactly what you're talking about. So a buddy of mine, Steven Spotswood, I don't know if you know him
Yeah,
or
I
not.
know him.
So I had him on the show, and we were talking about that because like that was one of the things I asked him, and he was way more laid back about it than I thought he would be, because I was all fired up. I'm like, this pisses me off. People are doing this. You know what I mean? It's like I was tipping them,
Yeah.
And he's like, I respect the hustle. That's what he said. So I'm like, why? I don't even play violin. I'm upset by it.
So you gotta get how you live.
But the worst thing is though when you see like kids doing it. Right, and like you have the parent out there with it. So I see it like I've seen at Target and Kroger, Giant Eagle, and all that.
Yeah,
It's the same thing. I'm an idiot. I didn't know they weren't really playing until I saw somebody expose the whole thing on online, and then I'm like, I started looking for it. Son of a bitch, they're not playing.
Yeah.
Like, how much money have I tipped that kid over the years? But then I'm like, you know what? You got me. So
that's how it
more
works.
power to you, I
That's how it
guess.
works.
But
He could have been practicing that whole time and learning how to play.
so it does upset you to see people do that.
Well, kind of.
Let me say it
For
should.
like a minute.
It should.
And then I go home and I forget about it.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's not good to walk around with that anger all the time. It's out of nowhere and be like, that guy at
And I'm
Kroger.
just like, I spent all these years practicing. And you didn't even practice, and they think you're playing. They think you're cooler than I am.
But it's street cred is what it is. You want the cool points. That's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen him for years, and it never occurred to me that, maybe I like to see the good in people. I don't know, but now like I feel like so duped.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's I don't think you see it as much anymore because now so many of those people have been exposed. You don't see, I haven't seen them at least around town so often anymore, but they do it nationwide. It's absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, so we're talking a little bit about the formation of the group. Kind of just happened, post pandemic, which you see so much of a shift in how people. We talked about that so many times with different musicians on the show. It made it impossible not to. How you had to adapt and shift things and pivot from the pandemic. And it's cool to see the growth and like birth of bands out of that, as opposed to like bands breaking up and calling it quits.
Yeah.
So you guys just did more.
Yeah.
Which was awesome.
It was kind of a blessing for me, honestly, because like when the pandemic hit, I actually stopped playing for like 6 months. I didn't even listen to music at all because I had just been like playing every day for so many years, and I was like, I want to learn how to edit videos. So I just got Final Cut Pro and was like, I'm gonna put out a video every day for a month, and learned how to use Final Cut Pro from that. Learned how to use Canva, and then all those skills applied to this band. So now I can run all the social media accounts, and I know how to put together a video, at least good enough to be released. So.
Did you do the? I saw one of the promos for a recent show.
I do everything.
You guys had like the stars and the faces.
Yeah.
That was so cool. You did that?
Yeah.
I didn't take that picture, but I made the flyer. But
yeah, she made the flyer so they're moving them.
It was awesome.
Yeah, right?
I saw them like, that's really cool.
On Canva.
Yeah.
Canva's awesome.
That's on Canva?
You did it on Canva? Wow.
Yeah. You just have to pay for it. It's like $10 a month or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've used it a little bit, but I've never dabbled to that level. I'm like, I noticed that. I'm like, that's really freaking cool.
Yeah.
Well done.
But those photos were taken by Josh Smith, who's a trumpet player around town, and he's an awesome photographer. So if anyone needs photos.
Yeah.
All right.
Josh Smith.
Shout out Josh Smith. I don't know Josh.
Yeah. His Instagram is capture614. So
check him out.
Yeah, he's got really, really good stuff.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
Get on here in a minute. So you guys are you were a trio for a while, right? You just added a drummer recently.
Yep.
So kind of fill out the lineup. Obviously you enjoy playing with, the full array of tools, but how did that come to get like an actual live drummer with the band? Because it's something obviously you can do with beats and whatnot. Was it just, did you find the energy with like a drum kit there?
Yeah, definitely. We had a show at Rehab Tavern, and I was like, I want to get Rob Riley, because we've known him for a while, playing with other groups, and I just really love his playing. So I was like, hey Rob, do you want to come do this gig? And then after the gig, like, it felt so good. The energy was completely different. And then I was like, do you want to like join the band? He was like, hell yeah.
It's a tough sell. That's awesome. So yeah, I find that whenever I've seen different hip hop artists and things like that over the years, whenever the first artist I ever saw do that was Snoop back in the day. He had a live band with him, and that changed the experience for me, because a lot of times it was just different artists that I'd seen were just like rapping over beats and stuff like that, and it was cool. It was just what I always knew. But like ever since then, it really stuck with me, and I've seen more and more artists doing that sort of thing, and I just think it adds a unique experience to like a live show.
For sure.
So like a lot of times they don't have that on the album, but they'll have that in the live performance. So that begs the question, coming back a little bit to talk about the live music you guys are going to be putting out. Like, how are you going to approach that with the four of you? Or are you going to, what's the plan for that?
So my plan is basically to, Eric has no idea about my plan.
Breaking news right now.
Elaine is the pilot in this band. She's the quarterback. So I'm just buckling in.
Well, I should thank GCAC, because I applied for a grant.
Thanks,
at the end of last year. Yes. They gave us some money to help record our album, and they paid for that photo shoot where we got those.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Photos. But I want to record all the live instrumentation, all the drums, all the horns stacking, vocals, different stuff. And then Keto, who's in the band, he's also a producer. I want to kind of work together with him to make it sound a little bit more commercial and not like, oh, this was just a live band that went in the studio and played this song.
Sure.
That's kind of what we did with Mr. Anderson, and I like it, but I kind of want to have more of like a galactic vibe.
Right. I mean, you want like a real professional, polished, yeah. Like, you know, I think, I mean, I'm looking forward to checking that out. So like, you let me know whenever you guys do that, and then, you know, as a friend of the show, we'll be happy to share some of that stuff.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
So, do you have all of the songs like in your repertoire right now that you guys are going to be putting on that album, or are you still writing some?
They're almost finished.
Almost finished. Yeah, one we just started the last one. So I guess.
Yeah, the music for them is pretty much done. Yeah. Just the lyrics
need to be lyrics now.
So is that the process? Usually music first and the lyrics after the fact?
Yeah, it's normally how I work.
Yeah. I'll usually just be practicing and build a beat and then be like, send it to Eric. And then he'll start.
And I'll listen to it. Just figure it out from there.
We actually started writing the lyrics to the last song last weekend. Yeah. Yeah, we were just listening to it in the car.
Yep.
And
it just kind of. Well, we just decided actually just to work on it. I was just like, you know.
We didn't really even decide. We were just kind of listening to it, and I was like humming the melody, and then you latched onto it and started coming up with some words, and then I finished the words to the hook, and then.
I guess in my mind, I just accepted that that's what we were gonna do. So do it with my night tonight. Figure this song out. It's time.
I guess it's a good thing you didn't have plans, or maybe you did, and you just had to cancel them.
No, we didn't have plans. That was the plan.
So what inspires you guys? Like, where do you find inspiration for the music, for the lyrics? You know, like where does that come from? Where does that start?
Honestly, with the music, I don't really know
where
it comes from. It's just kind of like, I'm just like, maybe I want to make a bass line, and then I'll just kind of make something up, and if I like it, then I'll just add something else, and I'll add something else. I don't really think about it at all.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's cool. It just kind of flows and comes naturally.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happened at the park. One of the My Truth, when we did My Truth, that we came up with that.
OG, we wrote in the park.
Was that OG?
Yeah.
Yeah, OG and well, I remember when we got together on the west side, the park on the west side, we did My Truth. And I remember the sun was like shining in my face. And it just like the melody hit me. I was like, oh yeah. This is gonna be sweet. But yeah, there's one track it's gonna be on this album that was like written by a young producer like in California. And she's gonna add obviously like her spice and everything, but that's the only one. Everything else is pretty much what we came up with.
Yeah.
So those days in the parks are very, very productive.
Yeah.
They were
very fruitful.
Yes.
That's so cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
I kind of think of ideas. Elizabeth Gilbert has this book. I forget what the book is called, but she's the one who wrote Eat, Pray, Love. And she has this other book talking about creativity and how her theory is that ideas are like their own consciousness, and they like basically latch onto you because they think that you're the person who's meant to like bring that idea to life. And if you don't do any work on it, then the idea moves to someone else who they think is going to better serve them. And so that's why sometimes you'll see someone be like, I had that idea. They got to it before me. But it was really like, you just didn't work on it. And the other person had that idea. And I was like, I totally relate to that. I think that's how it works.
That makes me feel pressure. I think I have an idea.
You should.
Right? Just to start pursuing things that are like half-brained.
Unseen forces are
oh man, that's crazy.
They want you to do something about it.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I had never heard that before, but that makes total sense.
Yeah.
You know, like you have this idea, you always see people like inventing things, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm gonna invent this thing. Like, I'm not gonna mess with it. Somebody else does. I'm like, I had it first. Like, well, snooze you lose, I suppose.
Exactly.
Right? That sort of thing.
Snooze you lose.
So tell me a little bit about was it Mr. Anderson? Well, so I'm not familiar too much. I saw a little bit online, but what's that about?
Mr. Anderson is a band.
You're the pilot of that one.
Yes, I'm the pilot. I'm the quarterback in that one. So that's why I take a break. But Mr. Anderson was actually, it was started a while ago. It was me and Tony Fanicelli and Andre Walker. And me and Tony played in a band called the LES Crew, the Energy System, and we were playing gigs, and we wanted to do some other projects, but there was 7 or 8 of us in that band, so we wanted to do other projects. So Tony and I was like, we should put together like a little cover band, like a hip hop cover band, and cover the hip hop songs that we enjoy, that we grew up with, whatever. So then I hit up Dre, and then we got Brandon on keys, and we started just covering like hip hop music, and just doing covers. And then eventually Dre came to a practice and had made a beat. And he was like, yo, listen to this beat I made or whatever. And as soon as he turned it on, I was like, oh, this is dope. I started writing to it. I wrote something to it. And then by the next practice, we had an original song. At the time, we were called like This Hip Hop Project. It was very...
It was fun.
It was just a little, it was just whatever at the time. But then after that, and after we started writing original music, I was like, we need to come up with a better name than this.
So this was getting serious.
Yeah.
Like, don't want to be stuck with that name. People start knowing you.
Yeah, right. And then we started to think, okay, then we can still be This Hip Hop Project, but then the original music is Mr. Anderson. We'll cover, music under This Hip Hop Project, and then we'll do original under Mr. Anderson. And then eventually Mr. Anderson just kept, we kept writing songs, and then just took over. And then now it was Mr. Anderson.
Yeah.
And then Andre Walker basically does a lot of the production in that band. He did the first 2 albums. Some of them were like covers by some Mushroom Jazz, the Jazz Liberators, Bobby Hutchinson. We had some stuff inspired by Herbie Hancock and Grover Washington. And then our next album we're putting out is very is a lot more original. It's almost all more original. Dre did all the beats on that. And the process we did with that was we just got together like once a week in my basement, and he went through my record collection and just would find records, and he brought his 303 and he'd cut it up right there. He'd make a beat right there, and then I just freestyle over it, and then that's how we kind of wrote the second album. It has more of like an improv feel to it. I didn't do as much writing as I normally do on the other things. It was just kind of like I was just making stuff up, you know what I mean? Because it happened so fast. So we wrote the album very quickly.
How did that compare to the more traditional way that you would approach?
I did it because I wanted to try it.
Yeah.
Because I was I was doing an open mic, so I was freestyling. So it was just something I wanted to do to just try to improve, that aspect of the craft for myself.
Yeah.
So that was my reason for doing it. But I just wanted to, I wanted to do it a little bit differently. I love writing. I love writing, and it's one of the reasons I'm so excited about this record, because I feel like that's what I really know how to do. That's what I do best. It was fun, but I don't know.
You don't know if you do it again?
I don't know how I would make it in that part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how much I would do that in the future, because I love to write. So,
yeah.
That bar you came up with for the newest song.
Oh, yeah.
It's really, really good. I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot.
No, we're going to save it.
We're going to save it? Okay.
Let's do the album.
Really
all right.
But, when I first started writing, I used to, I guess I'd have to thank a lot of the places I used to work for, for being able to write like I do, because I would use the time I was on the clock, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I used to work for Limited. I'd walk up and down the aisles. You guys listen to music. I would have a piece of paper and I'd just write down every rhyme or idea that I had. And, then I would just go through it. When I used to work at Discover Card, I did the same thing. I just sat there and wrote music the whole time I was there. So
thanks, Limited. Thanks, Discover.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Hey, if you can work on your art on the company dime, that's the dream.
Yeah.
Corporate America, they're fine.
I'm not ashamed of it. They're doing just fine.
They're fine.
They're both just fine.
They're fine. Trust me.
If you guys want to
fine.
sponsor me, let me know.
We sponsor the show as well. I mean,
sponsor us.
Like I didn't write songs on your clock, so you can. Don't take it out on me.
We're trying to get that part out.
We'll edit it out. Whatever. They gotta know. They gotta know.
Yeah. Things get big enough. We'll have a discussion, I guess. But
that's hilarious. we're gonna wrap up here in a minute, and you guys are gonna perform a couple tunes for us. But before that, I wanted to talk about like one more thing, and you touched on it a little bit, but I want to hear from both of you guys. You know, you said you checked out some of the other episodes, so you may see it's a thing I like to do fairly often. I like to ask people their Mount Rushmore of musical heroes.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, and you got it. You're each going to go, and then I want to talk a little bit about some of the current musicians that you guys are into. Anybody that you want to hype up? You know, I'm always liking to learn about, you know, like always into learning about new artists, new musicians, new bands, or whatever. So hopefully there's something I don't know that I can check out myself. Yeah. But let's start. You know, Mount Rushmore. And I didn't tell you guys about in advance that I was going to do it because I like it to be on the spot. I like it to be organic. You don't want you to think about it too much. You know what I mean? Like I still don't even necessarily know what mine is, and I ask this question a lot. So.
That's not fair.
You start.
I'll start because there are.
So just four. It's doable each.
Okay, I'll start from old and go current.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Bach.
Okay.
So yeah, he's dope. Sebastian. So yeah, he's dope. So yeah, he's dope. Miles Davis.
Cool.
Always try to be a little more like him. Add some space. Robert Glasper. Who should be my last one? I'll go Moonchild.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're not exclusive. They're like you can use some of them too if there's.
I should have
put
a hip hop one in there.
No, it could be whoever it is. It can be whoever it is.
I'll get rid of Moonchild. I'll put Q-Tip.
I mean, which one is it?
I'll do Q-Tip.
Okay. We can carve out another silhouette for your Mount Rushmore. There's 5 on there. What about you, Eric?
Oh man, I would have to say. I guess I'm looking at this like a vocalist.
It can mean whatever it means to you. Like, so you can, from the perspective of who inspires you or who like formed your tastes or, you know, whatever it may be.
I would say Donny Hathaway, Michael Jackson, James Brown, and Black Thought.
Nice.
Very solid Mount Rushmores.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. Who maybe in the Columbus scene or beyond are you guys into right now?
Parker Lewis is awesome.
Yeah, Parker is dope. Ty Khalil just dropped a record, and so that's
his old students.
Yeah.
He's really
right on.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, he's dropping mad records. He's killing it right now. So proud of him. But yeah, his record's dope. That's what I've been listening to recently. And
Dre
like,
Peace.
Dre Peace.
Oh yeah,
Dre Peace is
Dre
dope.
Peace. Oh, you gotta have him.
Okay.
Yeah. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's dope.
Yeah, I just really wanted to know I should have on the show. That's
You need to get a Dre Peace.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
We need to get Pennell. Pennell's is dope. Pennell's super dope. He's about to drop a bunch of music this year.
P the MC.
P the MC is dope.
cool.
Blue Cone, Ebri. They're super dope. I get the pleasure to work with Ebri every day, so that's pretty awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's all.
It's nice whenever
I could go on, dude. I mean, there's so many.
Dre plays with a band called.
I'll probably just sit here and start naming all my students. I'll just start going through.
We can just put it at the end of the show after your performance. We'll just like have a rundown of like the credits. Special thanks.
The Real Havoc.
The students.
You know, Musa. I could just
go on and on.
Just keep going.
Sounds like you got a lot of talented students for sure. So big year coming up here, you know. Just hit February. You know, looking forward very much to the singles coming out, the album coming out. Be on the watch for that. Please take a minute, tell everybody where they can find you guys, where they can find this music and all the new happenings with the group.
You want to take the Instagram again?
All right. So take out your phones. Okay. Take your phone out.
Okay.
All right. Go to that little search bar. All right.
We're gonna do it together.
Yeah, it's all do it together.
I'm already following you guys.
Go to the little search bar. Once you get to the search bar, go ahead and push the @ button, and then type and then underscore. That's important. Then underscore OG. It should pop up once you get into the OG before you type in players. It should just pop up right there. And then if not, just type in players, and there'll be a little circle that has an O and a G in it. It's kind of purple hue.
You know, kind of like that.
There you
Kind
go.
of like that.
There you go.
And then the most important part. Did you tell them about the blue button?
Oh yeah, then you hit the blue button. Yo, isn't that hilarious? Hit the blue button.
There's a little blue rectangle.
Little blue rectangle.
Yeah. You push it.
There's letters on it. It has FLOO.
F-O.
Follow.
No,
Follow.
FOLLOW.
You know what he means.
But it'll be all the same stuff. Like when we put it out on Spotify. Well, actually, if you just follow our Instagram and then click the link, you can give us your email, and then we'll like send discount codes, all the gigs coming up.
That's cool.
Early access to the music, all that stuff. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Beautiful. We'll do it, guys. I mean, you know, I've watched this a couple more times and watched performance a couple more times.
Yeah.
But then go follow them and sign up for the email and all that other good stuff. Appreciate you guys so much for being here. Elaine, Eric, this is awesome. Really looking forward to the performance. So we're gonna take a minute, regroup, and then we're gonna be right back with y'all with a couple great pieces, right?
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's what's up, man.
Check 1, 2. We are the OG players, observation generation. Our next show is February the 16th at Natalie's Pizza. And then the show after that is March 2nd at Woodlands. For happy hour, both happy hour. This song is called My Truth. What's the definition of truth? They say it's the quality or state of being true, or that which is true and important is to the fact of reality of, I guess, me and you. They say it's a body of real things, events, and the facts that actuality brings. The fidelity of the original, a standard, sincerity in action. What does it really mean? Transcendence of fundamentals of the mental on earth before we leave. Nowadays I don't know what to believe. Do I believe if they believe? If they believe it's make believe. Sick of this earth, wish I could leave. On my way, I wait for the ones really in need. Oops, embrace truth. It's like you got no class. It doesn't matter, like so fast. Now tell me, does it matter if it's true or are they lies? If it's my truth, then where's the lie? I've been searching all my life. Does it matter if it's true or are they lies? If it's my truth, then where's the lie? I've been searching all my life. Does it matter if it's true or are they lies? If it's my truth, then where's the lie? I've been searching all my life. Does it matter if it's true or are they lies? If it's my truth, then where's the lie? I've been searching all my life. Does it matter? Does it matter? Matter? Does it matter? Does it matter? Yeah, what the definition of lie is, ironically has a double meaning behind it. One means lay down, the other deceive the iris. If you searching, then you will find this. To recline and rest, become motionless, to reside with sex. If it's used with, lie, with, that's what they say, or you can get it from your highness. Lie means false or mislead with kindness. I swear some people are wearing blinders, diving into a pool full of piranhas, hitting notes like they divas and prima donnas. I lay in my layers like I'm an onyx, stone cold with the flow and kick it with shamans. Yo, most lying out their ass. It doesn't matter, life's so fast. Does it matter if it's true or are they lies? If it's my truth, then where's the love? I've been searching all my life. Does it matter if it's true or are they lies? If it's my truth, then where's the love? I've been searching all my life. Does it matter if it's true or are they lies? If it's my truth, then where's the love? I've been searching all my life. Does it matter if it's true or are they lies? If it's my truth, then where's the love? I've been searching all my life. Searching all my life. Is it true or are they lies? Does it matter? Does it matter? Do you matter? Do you matter? Or does it matter? Woo! Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. That was awesome.
Thank you.
That was funny. Yeah, I saw you like it kept going. I was like, oh, well, I guess we're gonna
Yeah, I was like,
keep going.
this is a new pedal for me, so I'm still learning all its like quirks. Like I turned off one track, and then I was like, if I press this, it'll stop all the tracks. No, it started all of them. It says start/stop all.
That's funny.
It still worked out though.
Yeah, that's all right. It was great. Yeah, it was awesome.
All right, let me load the next one.
We sound okay in there, Dak? All right, good.
Man, I have so many questions. I assume they're all going to be answered on the podcast, so I'm going to have to listen through. Damn, I missed all the good info.
All right,
Man, there's a lot of layers to that, too. That's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
all right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. One time for the busters and the hustlers. Two times for the lovers and the mothers. One time for the busters and the hustlers. Two times for the lovers and the mothers. One time for the busters and the hustlers. Two times for the lovers and the mothers. One time for the busters and the hustlers. Two times, yo. Once upon a time there was this buster. Forget the buster, he couldn't even cut the custard. Didn't
Didn't have no money, always lusting after something. Thinking, drinking, smoking, always trying to make a bucket like fuck it. Trying to get them Benjamins like Benedictine nerds. But you can't fly nowhere if you flock with clumsy birds. Trying to find out where he fit like a black boy from the burbs. Didn't always have the words and was always catching curves. But one time, he met this hustler, he was cool. He got it on the block and he would also go to school. So he started observing so he could see how he moved. He said life had the rhythm and you can make it groove. You should think about it, what do you want to do? Forget about them haters, y'all forget about the rules. It doesn't really matter if you out there making moves. Got a 22 at 22, but there are other tools. One time for the busters and the hustlers. Two times for the lovers and the mothers. One time for the busters and the hustlers. Two times for the lovers and the mothers. One time for the busters and the hustlers. Two times for the lovers and the mothers. One time for the busters and the hustlers. Two times for the lovers and the mothers. For the lovers and the mothers. Once upon a time there was this lover. She loved to do her thing, she did it well up undercover. Always had them goods, just like mama's cover. And when she gave her love, it's like the land of the wonder. Made you wonder one time. Woke up in the morning feeling ill. She looked up in the mirror and you know she knew the deal. She asked herself a question, could she foot the bill? To have a rugrat or some flint like feeling ill. Yo, thought the world was doing it everybody and her friend. Her friend that was a mother reminded her there was 10 toes on her feet and she could stand up in her wind. Her life was not gonna end, and in fact it just begun, yeah. Couple of moments there was a bump. The buster that had busted down was no longer a punk. He turned into a hustler, bringing bread home every month. Prepare for the arrival, raise the family as one. One time for the busters and the hustlers. Two times for the lovers and the mothers. One time for the busters and the hustlers. Two times for the lovers and the mothers. One time for the busters and the hustlers. Two times for the lovers and the mothers. One time for the busters and the hustlers. Two times for the lovers and the mothers. For the lovers and the mothers. One time. Two time.
Boxland Media. Think big.